I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well,
that's not true. But like what? These cancerous womanist ideologies are spreading even to the most conservative of places. So, no. And no.
Conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for a woman that you?
I was mediating.
Okay, why does Andrew have to answer for the kind of world that he wants? What? What is this garbage, Piers? You're putting way too much on this guy. Like what? No, that's not like Piers. You're not a leftist, according to yourself. You're not a womanist. You're not left or right. You're not trying to gotcha him. But I mean, Piers, you're trying an awful lot to get sound bites out of him. I don't know what to, I don't know what to say, Piers.
A conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can just simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that because...
Okay, what is this come to Jesus garbage, right? Why should he have to apologize for what he's saying? Right? Like, he has free speech like anyone else. He's allowed to say his opinion. If you don't like it, you could not like it. Like, cool. You can be offended. But don't... Okay. I disagree with what you say, but I will die for your ability to say it. Because we cannot have open debate, open discourse. We cannot have a functioning conversation if a person says certain things, they literally get deleted off the internet. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you get thrown in the memory hole, like in 1984, for doing something wrong, for saying something wrong, then there is no such thing as free speech. There is only what the party wants, as it were. And that is a reality that I don't want to live in.
That actually is blatantly misogynist, and even though
no,
that's a view held by other parties.
Okay, Piers is fully reading off his card like this paragraph long like apology that he wants Andrew to say. Like what? What is that? So what? Andrew, look at Andrew's face. He's like, "Are you kidding me? Like I'm supposed to apologize in front of the global audience for what? To make you money? Like I don't understand. Like why would I back down off of the truth?" The Earth orbits around the sun. If you want me to say the sun orbits around the Earth because you want to be more famous to your followers or whatever, screw off. Like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and if you don't like it, get out of here.
Parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that.
Yeah.
Than if you
okay, so I don't need your respect. I have more respect from the world, from the audience than you do. I'm bigger than you. I'm more important than you. I don't need your respect, bro.
And say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable.
Is that a truth? Then?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about. It's not a truth I created.
Hang on. You're doing it again. What do you mean that's a truth in other parts of the world? That's what you said. It's not, you're not talking about another part of the world. You're talking about what you believe is the difference between 18 and 90-year-olds and 26-year-olds.
I was talking about...
It's your belief.
I was talking about what the people on the panel believe the difference is.
So what do you think the difference is?
I think the difference is age.
What's the difference then?
Okay, so these guys are arguing about semantic garbage. Let me tell you what the difference is between a 26-year-old and an 18-year-old. 18-year-old is more fertile, which means she's more likely to bear your children to term. She's also more likely to have had less partners, and she's less likely to be alpha widowed, which means that she's more likely to be a better partner. By the way, the marriage statistics of which you're divorced, if you had married a virgin, your marriage would probably still be together. They have a 90% success rate if the girl is a virgin before getting married, because if they sleep with Chad 1, Chad 2, Chad 3, by the time they get to Chad 45, they're not able to pair bond anymore, and they're not able to have a good marriage. And so what they're likely going to do is they're going to get with a guy for security and then divorce him just for the cash and prizes, and then go sleep with some more chads. So that's the state of the world we live in. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me further, I have a Patreon with exclusive content, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe to any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. Let's continue with this Andrew Tate versus Piers Morgan. He's just trying to pillory Andrew Tate. And actually, after 28 minutes of listening to this, I think he has not succeeded. I think he tried, and he's trying to get Andrew to come to Jesus, as it were, and to apologize and to be the prodigal son, but Andrew isn't doing it. So,
well, then a 26-year-old's older than a 19-year-old.
And so you stand by what you said about talking to the guys, being to the club more times, being effed and dumped more times.
Well,
you believe that or not?
No, there's plenty of 26-year-old women who have been with one man or virgins,
Right.
of course.
So you don't believe that?
I don't think that the age is the only thing that's going to decipher how many men and women.
Right, so if you don't
indeed, that's exactly right. So age, again, there are some truths, no matter which 26-year-old that apply, right? So again, Piers is just trying to use like debate tactics to get to gotcha Andrew, but there are biological truths that you can't ignore, right? An 18-year-old is more fertile than a 26-year-old, if you just look at it statistically, which I think you should, because thinking with statistics as opposed to your own your own personal experience is a good way of doing things, because you can't generalize your own personal experience to the world at large. So there you go.
You believe what you said, just say sorry.
It's not about not believing what I'm saying. It's about you understanding that there's large conversations going on.
I'm just reading back stuff you've said.
I know
and
you
I'm
are.
asking you, do you believe it?
I believe that it's more likely a 26-year-old's had more partners than a 19-year-old.
Indeed.
You don't know that.
I don't.
Yes, you do. What? Excuse me? Okay. You don't know it. No. Okay. Piers. Let's be honest here. You don't know it on a case-by-case basis. That's absolutely true. That is doubtless. You cannot point to one person who's 26 and say, you have more partners than you, and point to another 19-year-old. But if we go by statistics and probability, then we can say for certain that a 26-year-old population, let's say a population of 5,000 women or 50,000 women in the United States, because let's not go at other countries, but even in other countries it'll bear fruit. If you take a group of 50,000 26-year-old women, a group of 50,000 18-year-old women, almost guaranteed the 26-year-old group will have had more bedroom fun partners than the 18-year-old group, and that is doubtless. But you can't point to any individual 26-year-old or any individual 18-year-old and say that specific individual. No, but you can say that individual, based on the statistical probability, is more likely. Then you go and have a conversation with them. You go talk to them. You go learn about them. You go see their past. You see their you learn about them, and you see if the statistical reality bears fruit or not, right? So you use the data to give you a background knowledge, and then from that data you then draw further conclusions based on the individual in front of you. So no, Piers, no, what you're saying is bullshit.
You're right.
In fact, there could be absolutely no evidence for that whatsoever.
Completely agree.
So why say it? Why stigmatize all 26-year-old women?
I love Andrew's expression.
It's not about, we're repeating ourselves here.
We're not really. I'm just trying to get to what you actually believe.
I believe that men find youth attractive in general.
Indeed.
I believe that in the context of the conversation.
25-year-old women aren't old.
I agree with you. They're not.
They're not, but they're older than 18-year-olds.
Especially I'm old. I'm a lot older than that. The point I was making was part of mediating a conversation between feminists and some Muslim guys.
I get it.
Okay,
I get it.
good.
But
So you understand why I said the sentence.
But as far as I know, you weren't espousing what a Muslim man might think. You were espousing what you think.
I was espousing what the people on the panel believed.
But you were saying what you think.
I feel like you're trying to pin me down.
If it's not what you believe, just say, I don't believe that.
What part wouldn't I believe?
Well, you tell me which part you don't believe. There's the sentence. Which part would you now say you don't believe?
Oh my God, Piers. This like what is this? Is this some like you know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the cop shows. You know when like the guys are being like they're being what's it called, interrogated, right? And the cop just goes, here are the suspects, and you tell me which one you recognize. Like, you did it. Like they're pointing to the guy across the table, and like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like he is actively trying to pillory Andrew and to push him into a corner and to get him to say the thing so that he can clip him and be like, gotcha, and get a ton of views and get more money for himself and shill the leftist agenda of the people that own him. Like, it's just utterly ridiculous, guys. Like, and it's not fooling anyone, which is why actually I was listening to a conversation between Rollo and Sartain, these two guys, and they were talking about it. And what Sartain said was very interesting. He said, the people that are, like red pill and they believe what Andrew has to say, they're not going to change their minds. The people that are leftist and are like Piers, they're not going to change their mind either. But the people in the middle, they're going to change their minds and go towards Andrew, because Piers is looking like a fool here with the tactics he's using. And I agree.
I believe that 25-year-old women perhaps have had, because they've been alive longer, maybe have had more partners, but I don't believe that makes them a bad person.
Right.
Agreed.
But you understand that the way you phrased it makes every 25-year-old woman feel a bad person.
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't make them seem like a bad person. It makes them seem less desirable. Less desirable doesn't mean they're bad. Less desirable means they're less competitive. It doesn't mean they're bad. So no, false. But women, it's true, Piers. What you're saying is true. Women do tend to conflate their value with their attractiveness. Like they see their attractiveness to men as their primary agency. As if they're attractive to men, they're a good person. If they're unattractive to men, they're a bad person. Women do see the world that way. Many of them, not all of them, of course. So it's true what you're saying there. But I think you just made a point for me, actually.
Of course you do. You're not stupid, Dad. Come on.
Piers.
Andrew, you're not stupid. You know what that sounds like to any 25, 26-year-old woman.
Completely. And you're
Right? So you have maligned every 25, 26-year-old woman with that statement. And I'm simply...
No, he hasn't maligned every one of them. He has maligned the 26-year-old women that do the things that he talked about, which is many 26-year-old women in the modern Western world. And if he maligned those women should be embarrassed that they have so many bedroom fun partners, that they have been pumped and dumped so many times, that they've ruined their own lives, that they're unable to pair bond, that they're unable to get married, that their likelihood of having children is lowered, etc. They should feel bad about that. And the reason they should feel bad about that is because other women should not repeat their mistakes. And those other women shouldn't repeat their mistakes because that leads to the destruction of the society.
asking you, to all those who are not of the type of women that you've described here, are you sorry?
I don't want anybody to be offended by anything I say. I want to be a positive force in the world. I don't want anybody to hear what I say and make them feel bad about themselves. I want all people to live righteous and good, whether they're male or female. And anybody who's
You lead a righteous life?
I think I do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
You boasted openly of having 6, 7 partners at once. So is that righteous? I'm not taking there's no moral view from me.
There's no moral view from me. But even his tone. Okay. But if you're not in an exclusive relationship, then you can have other partners, right? If you told a partner that you would be exclusive and monogamous with them, and then you're openly with other girls, okay, that's a different story, right? But if you told all of the girls that you're non-exclusive and you're not interested in getting married right now, and this is the best arrangement they can expect from you, then, I mean, like, what, like... It is only immoral from the context of a person that thinks it's immoral to live life according to the way that men, biologically want, as opposed to how women biologically want, right? So the lifestyle that favors men is, polygamy, and the lifestyle that favors women is monogamy. So what Piers is implying here is that if you are not monogamous, you're a bad person. But that isn't true. It just being not monogamous just means you're living the biological reality that men want to live. Right? Like it's not bad or good, right? It's amoral, that choice. Ascribing good or bad to it is your opinion, right? Like if you're not lying, if you're not cheating, if you're not, taking advantage of the people that you're with, if they know what arrangement they're getting into, that is not immoral. It's immoral if you screw the people over, right? If you tell them that it's one way, like if you tell her, I'm going to marry you, I'm going to be your one and only, you're the only girl for me, and then you say that to 7 girls, that is immoral, in my opinion.
Simply asking you what you think righteous means.
I think righteous is living true to your heart and knowing that you're doing good by people, not snaking anybody, not lying to anybody. I know I live a very righteous life.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
How many times?
Plenty. I believe in love between men and women.
I mean, real love, where it's...
Yeah. I believe...
How many times would you say?
Enough. I believe men and women are a beautiful union. I think we're slightly different, but when we work together, we're the most powerful force in the world.
How many women have you loved?
I don't know, Piers.
What is this question? How many women have you loved? So what's the implication? If you've loved a lot of girls, then you're bad, I guess? I don't understand why that's even relevant. Like, so what, Piers? You've had 2 wives and you've loved just those 2 girls, and so you're more righteous than me, who's loved more girls than that? I don't understand. Like, loving people doesn't make you good or bad. Love is just something that happens as a result of, chemicals in the brain. Like, I don't understand. Okay.
A few.
Give me a ballpark. 5, 10, 20?
Let's say...
You don't forget how many people you've been in love with.
Let's say 10. I mean, I've been in love, and I certainly believe that men and women, when they work together, it's the most beautiful force on the planet. I believe in family. I believe in children. I believe in...
If you believe in family and children and love,
yeah.
Why are you single?
I'm not single.
Well, you're not married.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you believe in family and love and children, why are you still single? Well, he's still building his wealth, and he's still enjoying his single bachelorhood, and he can, right? He's doing it because he can. He's doing it because he can live like Leonardo DiCaprio and have his children marriage later. That's why. He's doing it because he can. You can't, Piers.
Well, if I was married, the last thing I would do is advertise it to the feral psychopaths on the internet.
Exactly. Touché.
So
I'm not a feral psychopath.
Well,
you called me friend earlier.
Can be debated, Piers. But the point I'm making as a whole is that all of these.
Do you want to get married? Is my point.
No, but let's please for a second.
You don't, or you do?
Let's please for a second, because you've interrupted me so many times I've failed to.
Well, actually, I've only interrupted you just to be clear when you've actually answered a different question.
Cool. Well, then on all these points you're making,
and you've admitted that.
On all these points you're making on repeat, you're taking these sentences and on repeat you're using you're weaponizing them against me.
I'm not weaponizing anything.
Okay, it's fine.
You see, like, Piers isn't letting the guy get his points across at all. I mean, but it doesn't matter. He's getting his points across anyway, right? He's like, despite Piers actively trying to pillory him at every turn and trying to sabotage him, it's still working.
Fine.
No. You're weaponizing the weaponizing, which doesn't exist.
No problem.
But you said to me, come on, bring it on. Read out all the things that you think are blatant misogyny. All I've done is literally read out all the things we identified from all the research that I thought were blatantly misogynist.
Understood.
And giving you the chance to respond. And the only time I've interrupted you is when you've tried to answer a completely different question.
Understood, Piers. But these things were said in large context where often I'm talking about how, for example, on the same podcast where you've read one of them sentences from, I was talking about how it's a man's duty to die by a woman. And the guy asked me, he said, if 10 men with knives attacked your woman, wouldn't you just... I said, yeah, I'd stand and die. I'd never just run away because I have a duty as a man. I must die on the spot to protect her honor and my honor. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about a man having responsibility to his duties. I'm talking about the old traditional ways of masculinity. And what happens is a few sentences from such a long conversation is taken and used against me.
I understand that.
So I want you to understand that I'm talking about protecting and providing for women. I'm talking about a man making sure.
Do you want to get married?
No, but this is we have to all feed into each other, Piers. I'm talking about
It's not a hard question.
No, but I'm talking about protecting and providing for a woman. I'm talking about a man being responsible for her safety.
I understand.
So of course I believe in men and women. Of course I believe in love. Of course I believe in marriage. Of course I believe in family.
No, but none
the
of that was
idea
my
that I
question.
don't believe in the idea that I don't believe in these things
I
is
didn't
crazy.
ask you if you believed in it. I asked you if you're going to get married.
One day, absolutely.
You'd like to.
If I'm not married already, I will be married one day. If I'm not, no.
You might be secretly married.
I could be married, correct.
Why would you not tell me either way?
Why would I advertise to the feral psychopaths of the world who have tried their very best to destroy me for an opinion about my private life and the things that are most sacred to me? Why
What do you
would I
think
do
if
that?
you said you
Indeed.
were married, everyone would hate you?
I don't know about people hate me. It's about me understanding that I'm a hard target, but I am very, very protective of the people I care about.
Right. But you believe in the concept of marriage.
Completely. That's what we were talking about the whole time.
What do you think?
We talked about a man giving a woman away.
Okay.
I believe in marriage more than anybody. In
here's
fact,
my-
I believe in marriage in, no, please. I
Okay.
believe in marriage in the traditional sense. I believe a man has a duty to stand up and be a real man. I believe that the problem with the world today that we are facing is that not enough men are sticking to the age-old ways of masculinity.
I agree. Exactly. Man should be strong. Man should be fit. Man should be wise. Man should be capable. Man should be successful. Man should be competitive. And the protector and the provider and the leader. But only to a woman that deserves such. Right? And I would not be surprised if Andrew is married. But anyway, only to a woman that deserves such. So a woman that deserves such would be fit, feminine, friendly, submissive, cooperative, and loyal. And try finding a girl like that in the Western world. Try finding a girl like that.
I believe that me standing up and saying a man must protect a woman and provide for her, so he needs to make sure that she's safe. He needs a degree of authority to
I have
protect
no
her.
problem with.
But people do have a problem with it.
I'm not sorry.
And that's the world we're in now.
Andrew, I'm over here.
Sure.
I don't have a problem with what you just said. Here's where my problem comes, right? There are a lot of clips of you floating around on the internet, as you know. One of them, it has you saying, bang out the machete, boom in her face, grip her by the neck, shut up, bitch. In another, you say, slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. When people see those clips and hear you say
misunderstand
those
them.
things,
Agreed.
well, I don't think that it's not hard to misunderstand it.
It is.
You might say that it's consensual. Other people would say, whether it's consensual or not, that's a very ugly way to talk about women.
He's just talking about animalistic bedroom fun. Like, again, like, locker room talk is locker room talk. Like, the way that girls talk about bedroom fun in private is much more graphic than that. And again, I don't see that sort of thing as actually bad. Again, there's a time and a place for it, right?
Completely. Now let's
Hitting them with machetes.
No, watch the whole video. It's a girl coming at me with a machete and me saying, here, slap the machete out of her hand.
I
She's
understand.
attacking me.
I
So you don't
understand.
understand. This is the exact point.
I do
The
understand.
No, people don't watch them in full. And this is actually what's interesting. And please don't interrupt me on this point. Social media has changed in modern times. YouTube 5 years ago was 5, 6, 7, 8 minute long videos. Now we have TikTok, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, YouTube shorts, Instagram stories. Now anything you produce that's long form is cut down to very, very short form. They're interested in clicks, they're interested in engagement.
Of course.
They find
But
the
you
most
benefited from all
they
that.
find the most controversial clips they can
And Andrew,
on purpose.
You benefited from all that.
Everybody benefits from social media views, as do you.
Was it the hustle?
Well, wait, did you hear that? Everyone benefits from social media, taking advantage of social media, as do you. True. That's exactly right.
What is it
I had an
called?
online school,
Called?
Hustlers University.
Right. And their whole job was to promote your clips, make
ha-
you rich and famous. So you've benefited from this system, the one you now profess to hate. You've benefited from
I
all
never
that.
said I hated
You've
it.
clickbaited like the best of them.
I never said I hated it. I'm saying what happened. I don't hate it. I don't hate social media. I think it's a very powerful force. I don't hate the social media. I'm saying
The
that.
point is, I think you can talk. Look, you can talk to girlfriends of yours, maybe a secret wife. I don't know. It's entirely up
Or
to you.
two.
Or two. Maybe you've got 10 wives. That's your business. I don't care, right? My only thing is, I don't care what you do in private. If it's consensual between you and another woman, you can do what you like, right? It's your life. I believe in freedom and liberty. It's when you say...
It's actually amazing. It's amazing to look. Andrew seems taken aback. It's amazing to me that you could say something like that, but actively try to pillory the guy that's talking about the truth. It's not even lying. It's trying to call him out for being like a woman hater, right? When he's just saying that 26-year-old women are less attractive than 18-year-old women. Like what? Like something that if you go up on the street and ask 50 random guys, like 48 of those 50 will say the same thing. It's not some controversial, crazy thing. I mean, it's controversial to say it, to a rabid womanist, go to a, liberal campus and go say that, and you'll get, like you'll get your clothes like all torn up. But that's them being like brainwashed, right? Like ridiculous garbage, Piers.
In public, it's the influence that this kind of thing has on young men.
Agreed.
Right? And I speak with someone with 3 sons, right? Who are, by the way, they're intrigued by you. They're fascinated, right? You're a big thing in that world of TikTok and so on. So they all are aware of you and what you say. So they're all looking. And when they see things like the machete thing, I get the context because I'm a 57-year-old guy who's been around the block a bit, and I can get what you've said and you responding to a particular scenario which you'd created where a woman...
But it can be misunderstood.
I understand. So my point to you is, given that you know it can be misunderstood, do you regret saying things like this?
No!
Where it can be disseminated by less intelligent young males who think that is actually what they should be doing to women.
And finally, we get to the point of the issue, which is the point I tried to make at the very beginning. When I made a video before I was famous that got 500 views, me being concerned that 1% of people will misunderstand it was not relevant. Where you start getting 5 million views a video, 50 million views a video, 1% of people misunderstanding
It doesn't change what
becomes no, it doesn't. But it becomes a much larger problem.
I understand.
So with great fame comes great responsibility.
Right.
So
I agree.
Would I now that I'm famous?
Yes.
Do I say things the same way as I did back before I was famous? Absolutely not.
Right.
As neither would you or nearly any other famous person on the planet.
So
once you become famous, you have to be a lot more careful with how you say things.
I understand. So my logical follow-up to that remains: do you regret then saying it the way you said it?
I can't live in regret by saying something before I was famous on a camera which barely anybody watched, and then I became famous afterwards. That would be a very asinine way to view the world.
Do you stand by all those things?
I can't live in regret because I didn't know I was going to become the most famous man on the planet.
Literally, that's exactly right. That's true. All right, we're going to end the video there, guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed the 4 parts of this. So again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me further, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there, subscribe to any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. Get out of here.